Created live on Fireside.
Welcome back to the What Are You Made Of show here on Fireside. It's your boy, Mike C-Roc. I'm in the building today with my trophy husband shirt on. I didn't buy this for myself, by the way. My wife bought this for me, so it means that it's true. If I bought it for myself, maybe not. But you know what? It is good to be full of yourself. I always say it's better than being empty. And so welcome to the show today. Got another great guest for you. Listen, I meet people all over the place. Some virtually, some social media, some in person at events. And I'm always looking for intriguing people to bring to you to share the ingredients that have gone into making them who they are. Well, I was at Secret Knock a while back, a few months ago, and I met Emley and I met Travis, and they were at the event, and I happened to sit next to them. And I said, "What's up, guys? What do you guys do?" And then we just started talking. And I was like, you know what? I want Emley to come grace our show to share what her mission is and what she's doing. And Travis can pop in too. I know he's in the side there, but if Travis wants to pop in and say hi and speak and chime in too, he can do that too. You guys can meet Travis. But also, I want to help Emley because what her mission is and what she's doing and the art that she's creating, I just want to help her get out to the world as well. So let's welcome my friend, independent singer-songwriter and model, I think some kind of engineer too, Emley Sal, to the show.
Hi, guys. Thank you.
So listen, we start this show the same way every time, but I got to say, you have one of the most colorful screens with your hair and the background that I've ever seen on the show, I believe. So there must be something to that. I have a feeling, and what's behind that, we'll find out. But before I do that, I need to know the question we ask to start the show every time is, what are you made of?
Ooh, it's such a good question. It's always such a hard question to answer because we're full of so many things. Okay, so I'm full of curiosity, tenacity. I'm a firecracker. I'm a phoenix. I'm high energy, and I love color.
Awesome. I love it. So let's go into that. Was like this something that you were born with, this energy and this passion, or is it something that you kind of developed or saw in other people and you liked, and that's what you grasped onto?
A little bit of both. I was born with like high energy, lots of, sometimes I was considered like a tornado or a hurricane or, just fiery basically. And then I had something happen to me and then I wasn't for a while. And then I went through some personal development. And then that's when I was able to break out of that shell again and actually be who I truly am. So yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Well, you just mentioned something happened to you. We're going to get into that if you don't mind in a second. But a lot of times it's like it could be that and or people chipping away at you, right? And then you start to get inhibited. Oh, yeah. And then I always talk about layers getting put up all over around you and you get caged up and you can't be yourself. Yep. And then we get into our 30s and 40s and we're like, what happened to me? I don't even know who I am anymore. And I got to like break through and peel back these layers. And that's why everybody gets into personal development, to really find themselves.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like peeling back the onion,
Exactly. So I guess take us back. Where did it all start for you? And then lead us up into that, whatever that thing was that happened that caused you to be inhibited, so to speak, or pulled back.
Sure. Okay. So both my grandparents were opera singers. So like music was already in my blood. So from about like 3 until, 18, I was in like musicals, I was in choir, I was in dance, you name it. And then I went for an audition. And so, this was like the big audition. If you didn't make it, or at least that was in my head, if I didn't make it, then that was it. Like there was nothing else to it. So I went for American Idol audition and I didn't even make it through the first round. And so I was just like, what happened? What I later find out, of course, that it's not the end all. Like I should have just kept going. But I know things happen in our life for a reason and we're supposed to take our past at a certain time in our life. And so sometimes it happens later in life, sometimes it happens earlier, but it just depends on every one of us. And either when we're ready, then it will show up. It just depends. But so that audition broke me basically. And then I did a little bit of singing in college and dancing. And then after that, I just stopped. And then it was like a 5 years ago, I went through some personal development, and because I knew there was something better and out there that I truly wanted to express and be out there with people. And so then the personal development helped snap me out of it. And then I was like, oh, I actually can choose my life. I don't have to, no one is there to tell me how my life should be. I choose it. And so then it all just transitioned into writing, singing, and then, doing performances and stuff like that. And then I created my EP last year. I released it actually. And so, yeah, it was just like, I'm like, no, I'm going for this. I'm done. I don't want to regret life. I just want to go have fun, enjoy what I want to contribute to the world. So basically that's it.
Yeah, all right. Look, so let's go back for a second. So how long ago, like what year was that for the American Idol thing, first of all?
2004 or 5. I was 18. No, sorry. Yeah, something like that. I was 18 or 20. I can't remember, but.
And was that like, how many, what season was that? Like, was that anybody in particular you can remember who won that one?
Actually, I think it was Carrie Underwood, because I was actually in the audience for her when she won.
Okay.
So for some reason, I feel like she won that year. I'm actually thrilled she did, because she deserved it.
Yeah. She is. She is awesome. But we're all awesome in our own ways. But when you go to a situation like that, do you think it was that your expectations were so high and then you just didn't know like really how hard that is? Because it takes more than just talent, right? It takes.
Right. I think it was also a lack of knowledge a little bit. I don't know. I was like limiting beliefs. So it's like not knowing that you actually can do things. And because I don't think I was around people that are like, no, go for it. It was just like, yeah, I don't think anyone ever told me just fight for it. It was just like, oh, okay, well, I guess you got to go and get your degree and just move on with life. And so I think that's what happened. And I just never, I think I needed someone to push me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Towards it instead of, going after it.
Well, like for me, I went to college because everybody said you had to go to college. Like when I was growing up, they shaped us in high school. You got to do this, so you can get into college. So you can do this. And I went to college and I played football. But after football was over, I'm like, I don't need to be here. I'm going to go out and do something. And I made that decision early on, but I realized that it was everybody else was creating my life for me. And I'm like, this.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, we live one life and it goes quick. As you get older, you realize how quick it goes. I'm like, I want to live this the way I want to live it, just like you said. So causing and creating a future for yourself and then helping others do the same is one of the most attractive things you can do as a consultant, coach, advisor, because people are so stuck in where they are. And I've been there. And when you get that freedom, that feeling of like, holy cow, I actually can do whatever the hell I want. I can create whatever I want. I'm not trapped. It's unbelievable feeling. Would you agree?
Yeah, I 100% agree. It's just like, it's like that freedom that you choose, that you're going to go after whatever you want, no matter what it takes.
Yep. So then how did you get back into like the personal development? What is there a story behind that? And then what kind of personal development did you do? Like what did you find worked for you?
Well, let's see here. I always knew that there was something out there that I needed to do or something else. It was just like, I knew, yeah, I got a degree. I went to college, got a degree, went into work, but I was like, there's something missing. And I could never figure out what that was. And then, my husband and I were coming home from a ski trip with some other friends of ours, and he had taken some personal development, and he had already created his own business, and he's already kind of living the life that he designed and wanted. And so then I was like, well, crap, he can do it. Why can't we? And then he's like, oh, I did this program, and we're like, okay. But he suggested us another program. It's called Landmark, and so we took that. And then we went all the way up to like team management and leadership program. And we that was a full year itself of commitment, and it was learning how to be a leader and how to like train others and help others. And you actually get to see, it's called like a game in the world. And so you get to go out in the world and cause your game. And so it was very rigorous, but it was I don't know where if I would be doing this right now without that. So
And are you still like, are you still taking that stuff and using it today? Like the game and everything?
we're still doing the kind of like the game. It's called like unfolding. So it's like you kind of like what Greg says. So it's like you're at an end and then you work backwards in order to get to that goal. And you might have to shift it along the way and move it around, but like you take action steps every week towards it or every day, depends on how fast you want to go. Right. And so it's just like, it's to hit those milestones and you just make sure you're set up for success. So, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of conversations too, a lot of sharing, a lot of networking. You have to be willing to put yourself out there, like just really fight for it.
Yeah, one thing I think they talk about in Landmark, if you remember, is confronting. Like, do
Yeah.
you recall like when you have to stare at somebody?
Yeah.
Did they do that in that? Yeah. Like
Not
I had the
smile,
hardest
laugh.
time.
Gosh.
I had the hardest time with that because I would laugh and I just feel so uncomfortable. But
Me too. I was like trying so hard not to giggle and laugh, and I'm just like, oh God, I can't do this.
yeah, but that's like people don't realize that is the power in the world that like if you can do that and then you have an issue in your life, a present time problem, you can confront it because you're not like you just
Yeah.
lean into it. And every time we add time to things, like times like feeds fear, doubt, uncertainty. And if you can take time out and starve all that stuff, it makes a huge difference. So confronting was like, I remember something about that. Like my mentor went through that and he was involved with that. And then there was also a guy named L. Ron Hubbard back in the day. I think I talked to you guys about this. He started Scientology, and Scientology has its things or whatever, but he started something in Landmark. I think it was Warner Earhart. Does that sound right? Okay.
Yep.
And then actually, I think they had similar philosophies, and then they fought over it. Yeah. So I study all this stuff, so it's interesting to me.
Warner
So then,
was brilliant. Like he took every religion and saw like how everything all matched together, because all religions are pretty much very like structured in a way. But yeah, he was brilliant. He went into the psyche, like how we think of things and all that. And then it's like for me, like if I get stuck, a lot of times I have to have some sort of communication with somebody, either to get it off my chest or like journal it or something just to get it out. Otherwise it just stays in my head, and then I get, depressed or upset that I'm like, I'm like, what's blocking me? And then I get stuck inside and I'm not communicating out here. And for someone to either like, hey, snap out of it, or just here's an idea to move forward this way, so you're not going, oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that. So
well, you remember the game Breakout where there's a little ball and it hits the bricks and it goes all over the place, the little ball? It was back in the day when there was like video games just coming out, and there would be a little paddle at the bottom, a little bar at the bottom, and the ball would hit it and ricochet off of it. You remember that game?
A little bit.
That ball, sometimes that ball, like it feels like that ball is going around in your head. It's just bouncing out like what you were talking about. And you have to get it out there. Communication is a form of extroversion. And extroversion is a survival behavior. Introversion is a non-survival behavior. And that's what you're just referring to. And so many people, like in relationships, marriages, all that, the reason that they have problems is because they don't communicate.
Yeah, or they think they're communicating, or their expectations or assumptions are not always correct.
Right.
So you have to talk like, oh, well, didn't you know that you're supposed to do this for me? And they're like, no, you never told me that. How am I supposed to know that? It's funny.
So how did you and Travis meet? How long have you been married, first of all, and how did you guys meet?
Married for 10 years, been together for 14, met at work. I
Okay.
was the intern.
And then was that in like an engineering place?
Yeah.
Okay.
We work for an aerospace company.
Okay. And both of you still do it?
Yep.
Okay. Gotcha. Awesome. So then from there, how did you get back into music? Tell us the story. And then what is the vision with that going forward?
So with the Landmark, I was like, you know what? I'm tired of not going after what I love. And so I stood up in class one time and I declared it that I was going for my singing career. I was so terrified when I stood up and asked and said that, but I was like, I'm done. I'm done waiting. Like I'm not getting any younger. So, so as soon as I declared that, it took, I don't know, about a year. And then I created a fundraiser to help like anti-bullying, but also create an open mic. So that caused me to be responsible to sing. And so then it was like after that, then I was able to like get past that hump and then keep moving forward. So then after that, I just started talking to so many people and having conversations and being like, all right, I want to go for my singing career. Do you know anybody, like, is there anybody you could refer me to? And so like from there, we went to an event. I ended up meeting a producer. I hired the producer. I met a songwriter. I hired them to help me. So it was just like, it was a trickle down effect. And then, yeah, so I started writing my songs, January of 2020, and then just kept going. And, my producer was kind of like artist development as well. So he was training me, with that as well. So it was really cool. And then all the networking, it's a lot, but I love it. I'm enjoying it. And so then, yeah, I'm just able to now move forward and I'm like, what else do I need to do to move forward? What actions do I need to take? I'm still kind of like this a little bit, but I'm like, at least I'm taking steps forward.
We're all like this a little bit, as long as we keep pushing something out there for us to chase, because we're like, your potential is always running from you. And as long as you're chasing your potential, you're not always going to have it all figured out. So songwriting, do you have songwriting figured out? Is there a method to it? And can you just write a song anytime you want to? Or do you have to be in a creative space, environment? Like, how does that all work in songwriting? Because by the way, I went to Ed Sheeran concert a couple months ago, and I'm like, damn, this dude's good, and I wish I could do what he does.
Yeah. No, I know. Oh my gosh, I think I saw that. And I was like, oh, I'm so jealous. I want to see him live. Yeah, he's incredible. But what's really funny that you brought him up is he actually showed somebody his old tracks, and he's like, it takes a long time as an artist to, get really good at songwriting, even vocals, it's all that. And so he said something about the 10,000 hour rule. And I was like, he's so right with that, because you can be a good singer, but if but there's always something to improve on, always. For songwriting, I don't necessarily have a method. I take like a metaphor or a saying or oh, I'm feeling this. But a lot of times when I sit down, I'm not in the creative space. So I block out a time and I just work on it. And so sometimes it can take me 30 minutes. Sometimes it can take me an hour. I just keep working at it until I keep going. Sometimes I actually have to, after like an hour or two, if I'm really fighting with like the words, I have to step away and then for like an hour or two and then come back to it. Because you need to give your mind a minute to just be like, okay, I just need to stop forcing this. So let me go walk away, go take a walk. I don't know, go do something else and then come back to it.
So yeah. It's like writing poems, right? Really, it's a poem, right?
Yeah, rhyming. Yeah.
Yeah, and do you ever think about like the structure of the song? Does that go through your head too? Like,
sometimes.
I don't know. It's like when I think about it, like I can write a poem, I can write words and all that, but then I got to think about like, okay, this part has to rhyme with this part and this part. Like I just can't. I don't know. That doesn't click with me yet.
I don't know if I just got lucky that because my aunt is really good at rhyming. I don't know if I got it from her, but I always thought, oh man, this is gonna be so hard. And then it's like you just start with a word, and then you might go, oh, what word rhymes with this? and then you get a list of words, and then you're like, okay, well, like what else could say in the story, format, and see what I come up with it. And sometimes I'm always like amazed at myself. I'm like, I don't even know how I did that.
Yeah.
But yeah, still learning it with myself. Like,
it probably takes a lot of practice. That's what it is. I mean, a lot of hours, a lot of reps, just like anything. Like I can do these shows. Like if somebody said, hey, I got a show in 2 minutes. I'm like, all right, let's go. Where are we going? Who's the guest? Because I've done it so many times, 900 some shows, and that's only 900 hours. That's not even 10,000, so it's the reps. But so then from there, tying it to music, how do you tie what you wrote to music, or do you write it and the music at the same time? Like listening.
So a lot of times it's like either the track is produced prior, or I create the track is produced first and then I write to that. Or lately I write and then I ask a producer to write the track for me. It sometimes when I'm in the studio with a producer, we'll be like, oh, this could be a cool chorus along, with the ideas that I come into the studio with, and sometimes not. So this last time I was in the studio, we just created 2 tracks, got a little bit of ideas of what a chorus could be, and then I went home. So I was like, I hope I can come up with something. But so far, I've been able to write to it. And so then while I'm writing, sometimes I'll play the music and over and over and over and over again until I'm like, oh, this could be a cool chorus, or maybe this will work. Because then I create my melodies according to the track. It's a lot of creativity and a lot of just being out there and just trying something and recording yourself and be like, this could sound like total crap, and then you're like, okay, next, and then you just keep going until you like something. So
then what's the story with the color, the hair? Like you just have a lot of vibrant color around you, it seems. So like, what is the story with that?
I was thinking about that this morning. I'm like, I don't even know why I chose the red hair, because I chose the red hair before my husband and I got married. I don't know. I don't know if I had a reason. I just said one day I was like, I want to change my hair to red, because I'd had brunette hair my whole life and maybe a little bit of blonde, but I had never done anything drastic. And so I was like, screw it. I want self-expression. Why not? Let's try it. And then it was like, I had it for a few years. And then I went back to brunette, and then I was like, and then my artistry came up, and again, I was like, let's do red again, or pink, or, it changes colors, right? And so when we got married, like the bouquet above, that's my bouquet. I told the florist, I was like, I walked in there with all these flowers, and I was like, I want all the bright colors, everything you can think of. And so I gave them ideas of actual flowers. They were like, oh, they're like, you're actually organized. I'm like, yep, I knew what I want. And then even for our wedding, everyone was always like, oh, you should only have two colors for your wedding. And I was like, no, I'm having 3. So then I did royal blue, hot pink, and yellow. And then everywhere around our wedding, it was like green and white. And it was so pretty. It looked like a fairy tale. So
it's awesome. I mean, but the thing is that color makes people feel better. And also it gets attention. Like your hair gets attention. And then people are like, who's that? What's that? And that's important. Attention. Like we only have so many attention units to focus on things.
Yeah.
And when something grabs it, if you can do a good job of grabbing people's attention, it takes away from all the other stuff that's out there. So I think it's a great idea. And now what's the vision? What's the final question here as we wind down? What's the vision for the future? Like, what do you have your sights set on? What would have to, like, the vision, like, what does it look like to have success for you?
Great question. So for me, it would be to basically be able to sing full time, or at least do my music full time, and so that I could quit my job and just do that full time. But it's also to impact and empower people to go after your dreams no matter what. Like, yeah, if you only have a few hours a week, just start it. Just do something so that you feel more fulfilled, that you're actually going for something you love. So it's encouraging people to do that, or the fact that you could have it all if you really want to. Also, I'm out to impact causes of like anti-bullying, mental health, suicide, and physical health. I've either known people or I've gone through them myself. So it's like, it's very important for me. I just truly want people to know that they can break out of anything that they're dealing with, literally anything, and just move on with their life.
Why is that important to you in more detail? Like, can you elaborate on that? You want to share? You might impact some people by sharing that.
I was bullied a lot as a kid, a lot. I had to leave 7th grade a month before graduating because it was so bad and the school just didn't do anything about it. So that was one thing. And then I got bullied my whole life. It didn't matter. But then it's like, and then when you try to go after your dreams and you don't get it, so that audition, then it's like you get yourself in a rut / depression state, and it's very hard to get yourself out of it. I know a lot of people have to deal with it and don't know how to work around it. So it's finding something that you love and that you're passionate about, or it's going for a dance class or a yoga class, something that's like outside. So you're not staying inside and locked in and like your mind going crazy. And you're like, I feel like I'm bipolar, but it's like, you just need to go out and just do something, have fun, find something, like whether it's like going by yourself to, sit on the ocean. It's like grounding yourself. Just get out, just do something different.
Yeah, I saw a shirt. I live on the ocean, and there's a boardwalk, and they have a bunch of T-shirt shops, and then there was a shirt that said, "I hate being bipolar. It's awesome."
Oh my gosh, that's perfect. I love that. That's so true. That's kind of what it feels like.
Yeah, you got to lighten it up sometimes, man. But where can people find your music, and where can they engage with you further? I'm
on all platforms like Spotify as Emley, so Emley, and then on all socials, I'm Emley Music, so Emley Music. And then my website is emleymusic.com. So
awesome. All right, guys, go check Emley out. Emley, thank you for being here on the What Are You Made Of show with your boy C-Roc. Appreciate you. And guys, thank you so much for watching or listening. Whether it's the replay or you were here live and popped in, thank you so much. Appreciate your support of this show. I'm going to continue to bring you great guests to share the ingredients that go into truly making you a success. And until next time, it's your boy C-Roc. Emley, hold tight, okay? Be unstoppable.
Yeah.